Pensacola native Rodney Jackson built a successful career in banking for almost 30 years, most recently in the Dallas area. But he was drawn home by the opportunity to join the Studer Community Institute as Director of Business Engagement, with the focus on helping minority-owned businesses.
I thought it was very important for our community. I thought that we could just kind of help grow that segment because it's a segment that's kind of been underserved and overlooked.
A recent study found that under 3% of businesses in Escambia County are minority-owned. Jackson went to work in big ways and small. One of his first efforts, joining Bridging the Gap meetings. The group of community difference makers is committed to making inroads on this issue.
The goal is to come together with a community mindset to see the big picture, and Rodney brought a lot of tools, a lot of mindset, diversity, a lot of connections to help us do that.
Rodney is like really professional, really polished, and he can get in places where, where some of the other committee members won't be able to get in.
Jackson knows the biggest issue for most budding small businesses is access to capital, money to grow their venture. But the problem is much more acute for minorities.
I think there's an apprehension there. Walking into banks, I think they've been told no for so long. There's this, why bother?
Jackson reached out to Commonwealth National Bank of Mobile, one of the nation's few minority-owned banks. Commonwealth is focused on providing lending opportunities for underserved communities. Jackson invited Commonwealth CEO Sidney King and loan officer Bo White to a meeting he organized in Pensacola.
It was just amazing to see how many people were there. There's great opportunity. There's a need for us here. And then from there, we just started having a lot of conversations, right? I started talking to people, trying to really see how I can get in the community.
White is now regularly exploring lending opportunities in Pensacola, and Commonwealth is also considering opening a branch in town. On top of his big picture moves, Jackson dialed in on finding individual entrepreneurs to help. Anthony Powell and Richard Bradford are prime examples. Co-owners of B&P Construction, they're go-getters with a lot of business growth potential, but also a lot of barriers.
We've been coming down here seeing him every Friday for probably the last couple of months, man. He's been a lot of help. He takes us through the system that we normally don't know how to move through because we're new. He shows us the quick ways of getting through there. Hey, you don't have to go this way, go this way.
We filled out a loan package the other day, and he said, why don't you bring it down so I can go over it? And not only did he go over it, hey, why don't you could do this better, you could do this better, and so forth like that. Those are things we just did not know how to do.
Jackson also used his contacts to help them land projects for the city and set them up to switch their business account to another bank in a much better scenario.
Man, it's a lot of stress off your shoulders when you have somebody like Rodney them and this place right here in your corner.
My ears have been wide open the entire time, and I'm just trying to learn and taking full advantage of the people that have given me their time, which they don't have to do. They've gone above and beyond to try to help us.
They're just trying to live the American dream, right? And at the end of the day, they're doing very well, but they've got to get over that hump. When I met those guys, I knew that they were rock stars. I mean, these guys are going to do really well.
Jackson is making a lot of progress, but he feels he's just getting started. Remembering that statistic, under 3% of businesses in Escambia County being minority-owned provides a goal to shoot for.
Success looks like to me raising that number, raising the bar, raising that number up. That number, I would love for that number to be 10, 15% at least. These are folks that just want to start a business, that, help their families, to provide for their families, and live the dream. So that's what success looks like for me. Fast forward 5 years, that number is 15%.
He's able to bring the resources of SCI and a thought process around it to what we're doing, help us see from their perspective, but then also bring that feedback that's coming directly from the community, the people down in the trenches, take that back to SCI and allow SCI to focus better in the community and how they're planting seeds in every part of Pensacola so that the whole of Pensacola can actually come up.
For the Studer Community Institute, minority business initiatives are another facet in making our community a better place to live. For more information on all the work SCI is doing, visit studeri.org.